And I believe that's the key for us pulling the future, is to get the mindset of heaven.
Right.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. And that's the word I would give, is make sure you see more than other people see, and hear more than other people hear, and you can do more than other people are doing.
Hi guys, this is Sandrie and Friends, and we're so delighted that you have joined us again today. Today I have a wonderful, wonderful guest. For the last few, I would say, month or so, people have been asking, so who's Dominion TV Network? Who are the CEOs? Who are the co-founders? Never heard of them. Well, I guess I decided, wouldn't it be great to just have them live on our program with Sandrie and Friends? So today, I have the co-founders, Dr. Dutton and Lynette Dutton, with us, along with my amazing husband, the Honorable Ruben Bermudez, who will be here. It's a conversation, and we just want you to enjoy us today. Welcome.
Thank you for having us on your program.
Woo, what an honor.
We are actually friends of Sandrie.
It's official, but it's just so exciting. For me, at least, for years I've been involved in TV, behind the scenes, major networks, you name it. But it's another ball game when now you have to do your show and keep people connected. And when I say show, this is where we sit and have a conversation and meet people from all walks of life.
Right.
But it's Christ-centered.
Yes.
And we make that clear for those of my friends is this a Christian show? Is this a secular show? This is a people show that's Christ-centered. We have our values and our standards, and that's what I love about Dominion TV Network, and learning more and growing together and expanding. But I want people to hear from the co-founder, the vision, the dream, and how it's unfolded. And it's their vision. We're just collaborating. We're here for the expansion and exposure. And we love that we're on this journey with you. Share a little bit from your heart.
Well, on behalf of Lynette and I and the whole Dominion TV family, we're so glad you guys are part of us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
At this point, we couldn't imagine Dominion TV without Dr. Sandrie and Friends. And so we're glad to be here. We appreciate you, and thank God for your portion and your oil on this network. And you know what? That's what it is, Dr. Sandrie, for us, Pastor Ruben. It is our whole goal on this network was not about building something for us. And our ministry, I've been preaching since I was 14, so I'm 49. My whole life has been built to help someone else build their platform. And Apostle Paul gave this dissertation to Timothy, right? And he says, the things that I'm giving to you, your job is to give them to somebody else who will give them to other people who will be faithful to this purpose. And so that's what we feel about Dominion TV. It's not about Joe and Lynette. Right. In fact, when we do our lives on Tuesday nights on Dominion TV, it's called Team Dominion, and that is all of us. That's what we're here for. So
that is so awesome.
You and I are family.
So you expand, you expose, you embrace, you enlarge.
Yes.
And we could just, and excellence, and we could have all, to the fifth power.
Yes.
But it's so awesome. That's exactly how I felt when I met you. It was not just a connection because I'm a PK, you're a PK.
Yes.
But it was, I felt that connection. Actually, the conversation about Cuba, that's another program.
Yes.
But I said, okay, this is right up my alley. And I don't connect myself to things that don't align itself to God's purpose and plan for my life.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
That's
life is too short.
Yes,
life is not a rehearsal. We only live once, and there's
Right.
no time to waste. So what I gleamed and when we met, it was just the flow of teamwork and making the dream work.
Yes.
So what you just said, what you expressed, it's a truth. But as we move forward with the vision of Dominion TV Network,
yes,
what is God doing? What's unfolding? 72 nations. I'm excited.
Isn't that wonderful?
What? So tell us about that. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. The many challenges.
Right. So, I Googled it just to find out how many nations there are. And United Nations only recognizes a certain number. But there are around 195 to 196 nations around the earth.
Wow.
And so for us in our third year, for Google to tell us on analytics that we have touched 72 countries, 72 nations, that's pretty good for our third year.
That is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes me understand that we've got more work to do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's something that we and I have Lynette and I have picked up over the years.
I like that, we and I.
Yes.
That's a new, I like
We and I like that. I'm gonna use that. We and I, lessons, we sewed into Dr. Kim Clement's ministry for many, many years. And so he always said this, I'm somewhere in my future.
The prophet.
And I look much better than I look right now. And we really do feel the future pulling on us. And so that's exciting to know we've reached 72, but there's more ahead for what.
There's so much more ahead. So we are enjoying, watch this, the now moment, but we love pulling the future into the now.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
see it.
Amen.
Oh, that's exciting. See, it makes my spirit jump.
Yes.
Woo. Really, it's like you have to embrace it.
Right.
If you're not called to do this, you're not gonna. It's not about feeling it.
Yeah.
Because there are days you get up
You
and
don't
you're
feel
like,
it.
whoa, what did I didn't sign up for all this. But when it's your assignment, you're fit for your assignment, you're passionate about your
Yes.
That's it.
You don't have time to get stuck.
That's right.
On whoever's trying I went there, whoever's trying to sequester the dream or paralyze the work of God or or put limits,
Right.
If they can't see it, they cannot envision it. While we're talking about pulling the future into the now.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, even if the future looks better because it's now.
Absolutely.
It's already unfolding.
Right.
Oh wow, this is so exciting. Tell me more.
Especially in this time that we're living right now, people are facing these crises.
Right.
You're above that.
Yes, sir.
God has taken you further than what you thought.
Well, that's the job of an overseer, is to see over everything that it stops everybody else.
That's right.
And then if you can teach that to other people, then they become overcomers. And
So
they
when
can
you
come over
share-
whatever's at them, against them. Yeah.
So if you were to explain overseer, some people get it, some people don't.
Right.
So they understand the word overcomer.
Right.
But when you say overseer, because a lot of people not necessarily like the word accountability, but let's touch on overseer. let's have that conversation about what is an overseer.
Yeah. Just on a liturgical term, of course, we know, there's three groups of people in the church: elders, deacons, and saints. And then a bishop, we know, is an elder. Then you have the fivefold ministry offices, which their job is to mature the saints to do the work of the ministry. So this word overseer is not necessarily just something you see in the Bible, but it is in the Bible when it comes to the job of an apostle, the job of a bishop, elder among elders. His job to be able to oversee God's flock, to pastor. But it's even more than just a pastor as a senior pastor, but to be able to pull all the resources that, and I'm not talking about money necessarily, I'm talking about the resources that's in you, the gifts and the callings of God that without repentance, pull them in. And I heard you guys talking earlier about, the same lane, stay in your lane, and being able to guide everybody strategically by the help of the Holy Spirit to get them in the right place. So to me, an overseer is the ability to see over the drama that the sheep create and see over
and
the
try
drama
to
that preachers
eliminate.
create.
Yes.
Even preachers create that.
Yes,
and
yes.
being able to get up above that so you can hear the voice of God to speak not only to the now, but like we said, pull the future into the now. Because if we're just living for the future and not bringing that into our now, we're going to always be in yesterday.
Absolutely.
And that's where most Christians are. They're still in yesterday.
Well, there's a lot of growing up to be done. A lot of growing up to be done. Listen, if you're happy where you're at, and nothing's changing, you stop growing.
That's right.
And I
Oh,
call
yeah.
those type of people. There's room for all of us, and don't worry, you'll get there. But I don't want to stay midget.
No.
Oh, you know, I mean, literally, we need to grow. And so learning and understanding is very important. And when people ask me, well, as an overseer, what do you do? I mean, when we start explaining what we do, by the time we get to the bottom line, they're already lost. So
Right.
simplifying is we help you. We are part of the solution. We come to the table spirit-led. And this applies corporate. Yes, corporately it applies. It applies in government. Yes, it does. It applies in ministry.
Yes.
Everywhere you go, there's some type of structure, some rules to follow, and there's someone that leads.
right.
And so it's exciting just to see that how we connect all this. You are not just an overseer,
Right.
okay? You are also a co-founder. You are a CEO, an entrepreneur, and I could go on and on. And so the question is, I'm asked this question a lot. How could you wear all these hats? How could you do all this? How do you do it?
Because I have got this.
Go ahead.
And, you know, we said this morning, we were talking and said, there's the gears, and we put them together and we work, you know, and that's
And you
us.
shift gears
Yes.
as you go along.
And I'm so spontaneous, and she is so organized that it just works. It really does work because of her gifting and her ability to do what God's called her to do, and then what God's called me to do. And we're still trying to figure that out sometime, right? And it just works together, don't you
Yes,
think?
it does.
For 30
Perfectly.
years.
Yes.
December 31st will be 30 years. And so we're going to keep working this for another 50 years, right?
At least.
Yeah.
Well, that's so powerful. But in the process, I'm sure that even as you navigate and you journey, it's not just that you'll do it for the next 30, 50 years, whatever God sees fit, but that you will also equip others
Yes.
to carry on with the vision, that torch at a global level. And as Dominion TV continues to grow, it is just so exciting. I repeat that number again and again. Someone asks me, well, where are you seeing? And it's amazing, right?
Yes.
And it's interesting when I share with some of my corporate friends, they're like so ecstatic. Yeah,
Yes.
they'll be posting it on, hey, my girlfriend is on this, you can follow her, do this, and then I'll
Wonderful.
share with some of the folks, some of the kingdom folks. 'Cause, you
Yes.
know, it's
Yep.
not that they're not kingdom; they're just not there yet.
Right,
They
right.
see different, or maybe you're so caught up in the limits while I'm busy removing all the limits.
Yes.
There's no limit. God says there is no limit. There
Right.
is no,
No
limit to
limit.
what God can do. What He's
That's right.
doing with you, He can do with all of us.
Yes.
Yes.
The question is, do you dare to be a part of and dream with the dreamers, grow with the dreamers, walk, flow, and allow yourself to be led.
Right.
I stay in my lane, and I do well staying in my lane. But I don't want to get in your lane. You're called for this assignment. You're the one that's fit. It's not that I'm never going to fit in it, but right now, the future now is this, right where I'm
Yes.
at, right where we're at. Collaborating, obeying to me is obeying. My husband said we need to do this. I'm like, I don't need now one more thing on my plate. And he kept saying, no, you really, and I even said to him, wow, they need to hire you to do sales for them. I'm not kidding. I say, because he was trying to, I did not need to be convinced.
Yes.
My challenge in all this process was making the time. I have a full plate, but the Lord took me back to when I was a little girl.
Wow.
It was 9, 10 years old in Vineland. One of the sisters back then, and my dad, he built the largest Hispanic church in Vineland, New Jersey. I was a little girl when we had a mega church. That's when people talk to me big, it takes a lot to
Impress
Yeah.
You know, impress me with the 1 and 2 and 3 people that turn millions around. You see, I'm Sandrie. I come as one, but I represent thousands.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
1,
it.
10, 10, 10, 10.
Yes.
So when people ask me, how many people do you have? I stop to think, okay, we have 388 churches, and then what? Can't
Come
do
on.
it without that team. Can't
Right.
do it without my husband's the head of the house, the priest of the house,
Yes. Yes.
the one that says, I think it's a good thing, I'm not sure about that, but so now the head of the house that's always saying, you can do this, we can do this, we can accomplish this, but he's always listening to when I share visionaries.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay, I do nothing without teams. Nothing without teams. If I cannot develop a team to walk the vision, I have no business.
That's
Exactly.
good. Yep.
Okay?
Exactly.
Honestly.
That's it.
A leader is one that has followers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's got to keep moving forward, even if I can't.
There you go.
Exactly.
Success without successors is failure in
Failure in
disguise.
disguise.
That is correct.
And so many people try to be the Lone Ranger, and because they're trying to do that, whenever they trip and fall, then they're
over.
wiped off the map.
Exactly.
Everything that they went to build is gone.
Exactly. So when my husband came with this grand idea after being on the show, I'm like, okay, Lord, is this you, Lord? But you know, when I opened my mouth and I literally was speaking to our board of directors, they first looked at me. We've been this route before, and then you're the one. It's true. I'm the one that said, nope, it's not time. It's not time. But when my husband said it's time, it did get my attention. And I said, Lord, what do you say to this? I'm not only blessed by the relationship that's being built and developed. I'm blessed because, remember, who is your inner circle? Who are you surrounding
That's
yourself
right.
by?
Right.
Who sees the vision? Who's pregnant with the vision?
Yes.
I mean, literally, you have so many people doing this, but they're not pregnant with the vision.
That's right.
What are we
Yep.
producing? It's numbers are important, but what quality are we bringing to the table
Right.
to produce multiplication?
Yep.
In that quality.
Right.
That even as we touch 72 nations and counting, because I
Yes.
believe that every day those numbers are growing.
They
Going
have
up.
to. Yes.
Got to.
Yes.
That's it, multiplication. So when I see you, yes, I'm 62, you're 49, and I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. That
Yeah.
long after I'm gone, you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Long after I'm gone, you're still here. And you will be marking and making the difference. It's amazing. It's
Yes.
maximizing with the deposit that the Lord has put into your life. You know, Kim Clements is on. He's over there looking down saying, oh, the vision is unfolding.
Yes.
The future is now. And God is saying, and now we continue to multiply that future
That's
now.
right. That's right.
And that's what I see here.
Yeah.
But
We have
it's
to
in
think about the
place
future.
now.
Like you're thinking about the
Yes.
future, this Dominion TV. You're thinking about the future of this great station. And it's going to be great
Yes.
for many to watch.
That's right.
So that's what it's all about. You got to
Absolutely,
look at the future.
now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And not many people can see the future.
No, but you know the book of Revelation says the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus. And when you say that, most people, when you ask them, what's your testimony? They're going to tell you their past. But see, prophecy doesn't tell the past. Even though you've got a word of knowledge comes, you say, okay, I see you at 6 and this happened. Okay, that sort of thing. But prophecy is forthtelling. It's telling what's coming. It tells you what's coming. It tells you what to avoid, what to embrace, who to partner with, who not to partner with. And everything's about networking, right? So the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus. And the testimony of Jesus doesn't tell who you were. It tells you what you're going to. So I think we need to learn how to get into that part of overseeing and see over where we are and look into our future and make sure we're pulling our children into that and our grandchildren and our churches into that. And isn't it funny, Lynette, I talk too much, you can jump in. But Dr. Sandrie, when 2020 hit with everything that happened in the plandemic, scamdemic, whatever.
Plandemic.
Yes, when that...
I have a friend
That's what she said.
Plandemonic.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. When that happened, how many churches were caught off guard who don't even know
my
how to get
goodness.
on a Facebook page? We actually helped, I don't know, 20,
That
30
called it
churches.
the enemy's camp till COVID
At one point,
hit,
they didn't want to deal
and
with
now
that.
they need to learn it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it opened up something to show us that the church usually is 20 years behind. And that's why Jesus said, be
Wasn't relevant.
harmless as doves, but be wise as serpents. And stay in that marketplace and learn to be ahead of the game. And that's how we take that mountain.
Absolutely.
Media, education,
There you go.
government,
The seven
wherever God
mountains.
puts us.
Seven mountains,
ma'am.
seven mountains,
It
yes.
is
The
a valid
seven mountains.
message.
That's so
Bold
true.
as a lion, harmless as a dove.
dove.
Yes.
In the marketplace, it's amazing. I have an executive friend over at American Express, preacher's kid, corporate at the top, and I would hear certain people say, you belong in ministry, you belong in pastorship, and I've had it, and literally I said, guys, she is pastoring.
Yes.
She is ministering.
Yes.
She's a minister in the marketplace.
Exactly.
The lives that she's touched, that you would never be able to, they would never come to your building. Now here we are, 2021, huh?
Right.
2020, 2021. They have but no choice to be on
Yes.
media,
That's
to be
right.
on, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Zoom. There's so many other,
Right.
and we don't get paid to promote any of them. But the truth of the matter is that not only 20 years behind, so out of touch with social media, not relevant, not up to date, even with
That's it.
equipment in the church. And mind you, some of the churches in the jungle, they have 14 in the jungle. They don't have all this, but I'll tell you what they have, a cell phone. They find an antenna.
Yes.
They find the signal.
They can
I
connect.
mean, we going up to the indigenous people. I was just not last year, right before COVID in Oaxaca, all the indigenous people coming down from the mountains
Wow.
with a cell phone.
Yep.
The cell phone.
Yes.
Following, like if it were their GPS to
Yes.
make it to where the meeting
Come on.
was happening, huh?
Right.
You had John Maxwell. You had Josh McDowell. Yeah, I could go on and on and on with the names that were
Right.
there.
Right.
Hundreds of thousands of people hungry.
Yes.
This baby here, this baby here that people want to call an element of another. Let me tell you, if you use it for good, it
Yes.
blesses you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
If you use it for harm, it'll harm others.
That's
but
right.
This here,
Great
we
tool.
better stay up to date with what's happening.
Exactly.
And by the way, Dominion TV Network, what's happening with that app? What's going on? Tell me about that. Because people out there need to know how to.
Yes.
Go ahead, Beth.
Well, the thing is everybody has this. We've got friends all over Africa that they may not have a computer, they may not have a phone at their house or anything else, but they have this.
Yes, they
and
do.
If you have a cell phone, you can download the Dominion TV app. Everything will be on the bottom below that you can download. But the funny thing is pastors who are streaming their message, anybody who's streaming their message, marketplace leaders, we've got coaches and therapists on Dominion Television, is social media, whatever company you're on, whatever platform you're on, you've got to obey their rules.
Right.
Gotcha.
So this is a kingdom app, and the only rules you have to obey are God's rules.
There you go.
So
There you
there's
go.
no keywords that will shut you off your algorithms or
That's
take
right.
you out of the running. So if you want the truth and you want it unadulterated, you can come right to Dominion TV app
Absolutely.
and get the message of Christ.
It's amazing what's happening,
Yep.
okay? And we're new on the network. I can foresee.
Yes, that's it.
I can foresee what it'll, and that's why I say growing, the merging is definitely, for me, it's a growing process. I'm having to, it's just adjustments that you have to make. But the truth of the matter is, when I'm used to a live audience,
Yeah.
Yes.
okay, so I could be in the Zócalo, Mexico. Mexico
Yes.
also is watching, okay? Whether it be Mexico City, whether it be Monterrey, whether it be Oaxaca, whether it be Acapulco, whether it be Cancun. These are cities that I frequent every year. This would have been our 19th year
Wow.
with the women's conference
Awesome.
in Cancun.
Wow.
Okay, we were not able to do last year and this year. And to hear, hey, we found you. Thank you, Jesus, the West Coast.
Yes.
And so for a moment there, with the crisis never gripped me, by the way.
That's right.
Okay. This is in the word. This is part of the process. Hello, process is inevitable.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, rerouting. What do we do here? Well, we were already on Zoom. We were already on Facebook.
Yes.
But now it's having to take it by force.
Come on.
Yes.
And do it day in and day out.
Yes.
It's not even an option. We must.
Must.
Got
Okay,
to.
we must. So
Yes.
it's tell them, compel them. And how do we do it? So yes, it's been an investment, but it is worth the investment.
Yes.
Growing, the merging, the not seeing the 100,000 or the multitudes, which I love touching people, hugging people,
Yes.
embracing people. But guess what? I discovered that there's power in media. And not that I did
Yes.
not know this before,
Yes,
but if we were, if we were reaching 1 million, now we're reaching 5 million. That's called multiplication.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
This is a tool. It's necessary, is a must. And I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yes, ma'am.
So what can you say to that audience that's out there watching Dominion TV network?
I think one of the things I want to say is to make sure that we always have an awareness about us that we are in the midst of an angelic host sent to help us. And without trying to get into all of that,
That's another
I was
angelic
giving our
program.
leaders a Bible study just for our leaders last week, that in Genesis chapter 28, you have Jacob, and he's falling asleep, and he wakes up. He's got this vision of angels ascending and descending, and he said, God was in this place, and I didn't even realize it. When you get to Genesis 32, he comes upon a camp of angels, and he greets them, and he realizes they're there to greet him. So what happens between when he didn't even realize God was there and angels were there, and when he understood that they were there to meet him? He learned to get an understanding of not just what he sees in this realm, but what's happening in heaven's realm. And I believe that's the key for us pulling the future, is to get the mindset of heaven.
Right.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. And that's the word I would give, is make sure you see more than other people see, and hear
beyond.
more than other people hear, and you can do more than other people are doing.
I agree with that. There's no
Yes.
doubt there.
See
I
beyond.
I believe, like we said before, we need kingdom-minded people.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Kingdom changers.
Yes.
Kingdom builders.
Yes.
Yes.
Kingdom ambassadors. That's what we need
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
while we're here on earth.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Let us do that while we're
Be
here.
the
on earth.
voice.
Yes.
Be the voice.
Be the voice. Be the voice. See beyond. Can you see beyond? Back in 2015, that was what the Lord deposited into my spirit. See beyond. I'm into giraffes
Oh,
because
really?
of that neck.
Because they oversee things.
They oversee.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
You got
that's
it.
a cover to one of my books. Actually, one of my artists, they're designing the giraffe with the See Beyond
Yes.
on silk,
Mm.
and that'll be a cover. But I
What else do they have though? The giraffe has what?
two hearts.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy, right? And there's so much more to giraffes.
Wow.
That's another
Wow.
program. But I'll tell you, I am in awe to see what's unfolding, and it's important. Exactly that. You cannot see the future unless you understand we live under open heavens,
Right.
and that we have full access. And so many people are waiting to get to heaven. To get to heaven. He says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth.
Here.
Good soil.
Yes.
As it is in heaven.
Yes.
And really, that's going to be another program. But we're so excited.
Yes.
I can't wait to continue this conversation.
Yes.
It's just what God would have us to do.
Amen.
Yes.
To really convey. And it's not about energy, guys. The Holy Spirit, may we be led. But I'll tell you what it's about. Understanding that you do live under open heavens, that you're part of a kingdom culture, and that there is no limit to what God has made available to us. So we look forward to seeing you next week in our next conversation. This is so awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for
Exciting.
being with
Thank you
us.
for having
us.
Thank you,
Good to have you.
thank you.